Jaime Munguia versus John Ryder, super middleweight. There's talks if Munguia wins this fight, maybe a possible Canelo fight. Now, I think a lot of people expect that this is a pretty much written in stone that Munguia wins this one. I don't think anyone sees really the challenge. I don't think people really appreciate what John Ryder brings to the table. I think he's a really underrated fighter. It makes sense he's underrated. His attributes: he doesn't have great speed, doesn't have great power. He's short and stocky, doesn't look the part. But the things he does in there is very subtle, one of the subtle guys. He doesn't get to, he is one of the guys that I always say when you're in fighting, the great trainers bring out what you can do, right? You figure out what you can do and become the best at it. He figured out what style works best for him and became the best that he could with that style. Now, yes, he's coming off a Canelo loss, right, where he did take a lot of shots in that fight, but he was fighting Canelo Alvarez. I don't think that means that he is for the taking now. I don't think we're really appreciating everything he's done to that point. And like I said, his work is subtle, so no one really thinks that highly of him. Now, Munguia is a guy who's coming off a Derevchenko fight, and Derevchenko, to me, is a shell of himself, and that could have been a fight of the year, right? And I think that people think because it was a fight of the year, there was a great performance. And you could have a fight of the year and not have a great performance, because he shouldn't have been in the fight of the year with Derevchenko if he really is at the level of guys at the top of 168. Right? Is he at the level of a Benavidez, Morale, and Canelo? If he's at that level, then Derevchenko shouldn't be a hard fight at this point. But it was a fight of the year for him. Now, he's a guy that it's his attributes. It's not his skill, it's not his technical ability, it's his attributes, right? He's a guy who can swarm you with big shots, land big, massive shots. He has a good motor. When he gets on a bounce, right? He gets on a bounce and he explodes at you, right? And those shots are thudding shots. And he can do that for a lot, but he's not really good on the inside. I think maybe you kind of assume that he'd be good on the inside, right? He's a good pressure guy, might be good on the inside. He's not really good on the inside. He's more of a mid-range guy. He's more of a guy that he jumps into his shots, jumps into a combination, then he needs to get the distance again, and then jump into his shots. He's gonna jump into the range with shots. John Ryder is good on the inside, and he's good defensively. Now, he has short and stocky arms. He doesn't have the fastest speed in the world, so he has to stay in range. So he stays in range a lot. So he will get caught once in a while. It's not like he's going to pitch a shutout, because he will get caught because he has to stay in range. He can't afford to stay on the outside because he won't be able to get on the inside. He has no chance of landing shots on the outside like that. So he has to stay in a point where he can land. But he subtly builds his defense. He has a sideways stance. He controls the fight with his jab. As the fight goes on, he gets stronger. He doesn't get weaker. He gets stronger as the fight goes on. And he crowds you. And when he crowds you, he has some of the best technique at sneaking shots in. Now, some of it just the way he's built. He has short arms, short, stocky body, very tight, so he can sneak shots in. Maybe the guys with long arms couldn't, but also it's the way he positions his body. He stands sideways. He jabs his way in, and then as he gets in, he creates little turns, right? So he can put that shot in. He's holding here, He's here. He's here. Everything is subtle, and he's positioning his body to fish shots in a very tight area, and he gets to work in there. Now, Munguia gets going backwards. He's not a very good fighter going backwards. On the inside, he's not very skilled. Now, it's why he can explode the combination out of there, but a consistent inside fight is not going to favor him there. It'll be all John Ryder. He needs a fight where he keeps John Ryder at the end, and you would have to think that's the jab. The jab is going to mess with John Ryder because John Ryder stays in range, but he defensively positions himself, right? But if you jab him, he has to react to the jab. So then you jab him, and he's here, and he blocks the jab. He's out of position, right? In range, but he's not in position to attack back because he reacted to that. Then you combo off him. That's what Munguia needs. Munguia needs to work off the jab and then get to his combos. Now, he has very predictable combos. It's always boom, boom, left hook to the body. Boom, boom, left hook to the head, and then right back. You can kind of predict it. You can kind of see the same combination going. Once you see it once or twice, you're going to be used to it. But what he has to count on is that just his physical abilities are just too much for John Ryder. Problem is that Canelo has pretty damn good physical abilities too. And he wasn't able to get John Ryder out of there. So I have a hard time believing that Munguia's gonna get him out of there. I think Munguia's kind of limited as well. And I think Munguia, yes, he can fight at this one range, but if John Ryder, who is not a guy that's gonna run backwards, right? And I think a lot of people would be tempted to do that with Munguia. He's gonna bring his offense, I'm gonna step out. But it's kind of like a Chinese finger trap. Right, you get a Chinese finger trap, and you try to pull it away, it gets tighter. Well, oddly enough, that with Munguia, I think you might want to get closer to him. As he's attacking, you might want to step in, because I think that will start eliminating his game, right? Well, the problem is that he jumps in and you back out, he's catching you still. He's still being able to come all his offense to catch you at range. If he steps in and you step in with him, you eliminate all the shots. And I think Munguia starts to do, I mean, I think Ryder begins to do that and begins to push Munguia back and get to in a fight where he's able to rough him up. He's able to stay on the inside, show his strength, and sneak all these shots in. And I think that Munguia's going to really struggle with that. He's going to try to hold. You can see a Derevchenko fight. The Derevchenko was able to work in there. And Munguia was just complaining just to the ref immediately. Now, you also see Munguia has switched trainers again. Now he has Freddie Roach. Now, you're not seeing any losses on Munguia's record, so why is he switching trainers so much? It's because even in these wins, they feel shaky about him. He still doesn't know who he is as a fighter. He still feels like there's things he's missing. You have had about 3 to 4 trainers now at this point. Freddie Roach has him now for this fight. You might get 3 or 4 different styles. He might end up, if he ends up in a dogfight, what style is he going to ride with? Right? Is he going to ride with what Freddie Roach is teaching him? Or is he going to fall back to one of the other 3 trainers? Or just natural instincts? Right? I always say that. You switch trainers so much, it's like, what style are you doing? And are you going to get in between styles? Are you going to fall back to instincts just this way I win fights, this is what I'm going to go back to in a tough fight? I think Ryder's going to be a tough fight for him. I think Ryder's underappreciated, and I'm going to pick Ryder to win it. I think Ryder's going to get in the inside. He's going to eliminate a lot of Munguia's game in the mid-range, and he's going to rough him up. Now, will Ryder get the scorecards? I'm not saying the fight's fixed. I'm not saying that the judges are bought. But what I am saying is not a lot of appreciation for Ryder's work. You have to watch it close. It's on the inside. It looks like a lot of smothering. It looks like a lot of holding, but he's landing clean work. He didn't get in the Colin Smith fight, which a fight I thought he clearly won. He doesn't get a lot of credit. People look past his work and stuff like that. I think that he's going to get in the inside of Munguia and just give him hell. I don't think that Munguia's going to be able to fight that range. Early on, I think Munguia's going to land some good shots. He's going to be explosive, his bounce. But as the fight goes on, and I know Munguia has a good motor, but John Ryder doesn't slow down either. He's going to pick up, and as he gets in the range, he's going to start operating and pushing Munguia back and landing those shots on the inside and start controlling with the jab. I don't trust Munguia to jab consistently in this fight. I don't trust him to win the jab battle against John Ryder. I think John Ryder is more technically better than anyone gives him credit for because he doesn't look the part. And because he don't look the part, it's kind of like Moneyball. You see, people are looked past for many number of reasons, but really when you look at what's happening in the ring, the guy's he knows how to operate in the ring. I'm taking John Ryder for the upset. I think he's going to take a decision. Now, the question is, will he get the decision? I think he'll deserve the decision, but will he get the decision? We'll have to see that play out. But I'm picking John Ryder this weekend. I think that as soon as they heard as far as them talking to this fight, I thought, that's a tough fight for Munguia. That's a real tough fight for Munguia. And I just think that everyone looks past John Ryder, and we're going to see this weekend. This has been the Ezra Breakdown.